In my case, there was such a huge difference before awakening and afterwards that literally very few people survived in my life afterwards. On the outside, I was a journalist having in her like late 20s, having a very good career, very committed to work, working with Wall Street. I suppose people knew I was a very sensitive person. I'm always been, very intuitive. But nobody knew of my spiritual experiences that I had since I was a small child. I didn't mention it before, but if nowadays with the knowledge I have now and with the understanding I have now, I look at my life, I could say I had, in a way, I did the perfect thing. I didn't search intellectually. I just stayed in my heart. And, but I had no merit for it. It happened. So I don't say, oh, I was good one. I was good. That's what happened. For other people, this was totally unexpected. And changing my name, or that happened as well. I have a longer spiritual name, but it's like shortened. It's a Shakti and Caterina Maggi. It's my civil name, of course. I decided to present myself to the word combined because I don't want to give the idea that I'm a weird spiritual person, but I had to honor also the big change that happened. So that's why there is this double name. Sometimes people in the States are a bit confused because they say, oh, how should I call you? Like Shakti, Caterina, or they say Maggi because Maggi is in Italian. And they say, no, Maggi is my surname. It's not my name. The people in my life, they were not expecting this at all. They were shocked. And because I dropped my job and, I followed this guy and I've been working for him for 13 years, actually, again, very typical, you stay with a guru for 14 years, 13 years is like the complete of the cycle. That's what in Gurukula in the past in ancient India was done. But again, it was not wanted. It was just what was happening. This was something that happened and it took over me. But I don't want to be an example. You please don't drop your job if you have spiritual breakthrough. Don't make, it happen. It literally happened with me. I didn't choose it. And it's not necessary. It happened with me because, it was my destiny to teach. And I had to be trained for that as well by my teacher. It's not necessary. But in my case, there was a huge, it was painful as well for my family. I remember my mother meeting me after 2 weeks. I met her. She hugged me. I didn't say a word to her. She hugged me and said, she broke into tears and said, oh my God, it's like you're dead, And I couldn't say, Mom, you're right, She would not understand. And I was not understanding it either. So I think also the confusion in people was there also because I was not able to explain it because I didn't have any previous understanding. So a conscious spiritual path that was denied to me, but is given to other people is very useful to adapt the mind, and being able not to be so confused as well. There was, it was very strange. It was a very strange time for me. So I think this helps me to help people that might have the same experience, but I would not recommend it. The last thing you want to do when you start to have breakthrough is mess your life because you want to have a steady income. You want to be safe in your life. There is already a lot of changes within. You don't want to change them outside. So don't leave your spouse or, don't leave your family. Don't try to convince your family that now you're super awakened because that's ego. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to evangelize your friends, please. So really be normal as much as possible because you need all that energy for you, for growing within. That's why I'm a bit reluctant in saying my story because I don't want people to think that that's the way. My story is very unusual. It's not how I see that is for the majority of people. Nowadays, I see that for the majority of people is slowly adjusting, having experience, collecting information to understand experience, then having new experience, collecting information, and it's much more, and then you see this change. In my case, I think the universe had different plans because it wanted to have me, so to speak, when I was young enough. For me, it's very important for people to know that the change is within, it's not outside. But yes, temporary was a bit dramatic. When you live from this space, there is a fast forward of things, you know, things change very rapidly. There's been many, many people coming and going in and off my life, and they never leave my heart. But everything tends to work very quickly around you when you live from this space. At least this is what people say when they're with me, because there is no resistance to life. So life still has its pains and its sadness and its joys but underneath there is this gratefulness that I spoke before, this sense of wonder that I spoke about before. There is an inherent resonance of love in my being. Part of my joy is sharing what I see, and that has become my service, my teaching.